Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. It's always great, isn't it? Fridays are always, you have a different feel about everything on a Friday. Everyone's in a better mood, you know. I mean, I don't know why, because as artists and actors and singers, you know, we have no weekends, do we? We work all hours and every day, but it's still got that Friday feel about it.
Yeah, Saturday can be the hardest day, actually.
Yes.
I remember when I was younger, and especially working in the theatre, I used to hate Sundays because it was my day off.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
You know, because in those days you didn't want a day off. Now you think, oh God, when is my day off?
I know, that's true.
When we had that, what you were doing there.
Yeah, abundance of energy.
But also, quite a lot of actors don't, if they're not working, they don't like the weekends because the agent can't call them because they're not working. So you always think, oh, Monday, great, you know, something might happen this week. And
yes,
then you get to Friday and you feel a bit flat because you think, oh, I'm not going to be able to talk to them.
That's interesting.
Exactly.
My car's just gone in for a service, so God only knows how much that's going to cost me.
Oh, don't think about it.
All right. I'll think about that. It should be a nice surprise.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Who have we got today?
Well, I think well, we have the gorgeous Angie Greaves, but I have a feeling that you and her are in sync color-wise. Do 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 do. Angie Greaves, come in.
Come in, Angie.
Hello.
Hi, darling. How are you?
I'm really good. How is everyone? How are you? How are you? How are you?
We are fine. You look glam. Now that color is just gorgeous on you.
Purple is my color.
Is it?
Purple is my color. I've loved purple since I was a little girl. I also love the artist Prince. I was mad about Prince. When he passed, I found it really, really hard to do my show. And it just so happens that purple is also the colour of the station that I work at.
Oh, wow.
Mad, isn't it?
You manifested it.
Yeah, but it's just, honestly, it's so funny because that, you know, just looking at you and it's like, it's so right for you. It's just you.
I love purple. Love purple, yeah.
I wonder what it means psychically, purple.
Well, purple was supposed to be, well, this is a Sunday school thing. It was the colour of spiritual wisdom. Now, I can't remember which one of the kings in the Bible it was, but was it Solomon? Thank you. He wore a purple robe, didn't he? And he was meant to, well, Solomon historically is meant to be a very, very wise man. So I see it as a colour of wisdom.
Yes. And you are very wise.
Well, I like to believe I'm wise. I like to believe that.
It was Elizabeth's favourite colour, wasn't it? Didn't she used to want to have her dressing room painted purple or something like that?
Sorry, who's that?
Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh, really?
Purple.
Now that I didn't know. And I did like a bit of Elizabeth Taylor. She was something else, wasn't she?
You know, I used to go out with her son, don't you?
No.
Michael Wilding.
Michael Wilding Jr.
Stop that.
Yes, I
Really?
Did. I actually got some pictures. I've got a picture. Actually, what I'll do is, Hass, I'll give you the picture so you can put it on the show.
Okay.
Yes, I did, and it was so funny because when I met him at a nightclub when I was about 18 or 19, and he was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen in my entire life. He had hair down to his waist, and he had these beautiful eyes. And I remember saying to somebody, "Who's that?" And they said, "That's Michael Wilding Jr." I said, "I want to meet him now." He came to see a show I was in. I was doing a show called Women Behind Bars with Divine.
Okay.
Drag queen Divine.
Yeah.
And it's a very long story, but that's what I was doing. And Michael rang me and he said, "I'd love to come and see your show." And I said, "How many tickets do you want?" And he did just one. I thought, yes, that's it.
We love this.
We love this. And then he came to see the show. And of course, Divine was madly in love with Liz Taylor. So all he wanted was Michael, you know, we could meet his mom, you know. And he never left my house for about, I don't know, 18 months, I think.
You little hussy, you.
Yeah. He was beautiful. He was beautiful. He's now married to Jack Palance's daughter.
So, okay.
Okay.
Didn't know that.
Just a quick little drop in of that.
No, that's fine. I know Elizabeth Taylor now. I'll always remember growing up Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, yes.
in love, out of love, in love, out of love. My goodness, what a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
Michael told me some incredible stories about her as well. You know, that when they were all filming, they were somewhere in the middle of nowhere. They were all filming, and this enormous spider came in, and everybody jumped up on the table. And she went, "Oh, for God's sake!" and got a shovel and smacked it on the head. And they're all
Lovely.
trembling.
we
Richard
love this.
Burton, all the boys, everybody, and it was just her. She was the powerful one.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, but she did have that powerful aura about her, didn't she?
Mm.
Yeah.
Very much
She
so.
did. She
Great
did.
actress, yeah.
I suppose you had to be then to survive in Hollywood, didn't you?
Yeah. Well,
You had to have that sort of drive and survival instinct, really.
yeah.
Well, you see, initially they wanted her brother. Do you know the story behind it? So they wanted her brother to do a movie, and I think he was picked up by an agent, and she went along with him. And then something happened, and she kind of got the part, and he didn't. And that's how it happened when she was about 8 or 7 or 8, really, really young.
Whoa. Okay.
She was an
Yeah.
acting talent, wasn't she? I thought she was an amazing actor, actually.
Yeah. She
Mm.
was just, and she was so beautiful, and it was so wonderful, you know, when I met her, and it was she is the person that has made me take doggy bags, because we were at Scott's, I don't know where we were, or some restaurant, when Michael introduced me to her, and we went out for dinner, and she said, "Can I have a doggy bag?" And I went, "A doggy?" I looked at her and she said, "Honey, you've paid for the food, you take it home."
And I totally agree with her. I totally agree with her.
Absolutely. We're going to do that, Angie, aren't we? When we go out for
Definitely.
dinner.
I'll be off my detox by the time we all meet. So
Oh, I can't wait to
good.
see you. Yeah. So, Angie, what are we going to talk about today? What are we talking about?
well, I know that Dementia Awareness Week isn't till the 15th of May. But yesterday on my show, on my Sunday show on Smooth, which I really love, I'm going to be honest, when I have to get up to do it, I think, Angela, what are you doing? But then I get there. And what we do is we try to put a different spin on the Sunday show. So I love doing all my shows, but Drive is more of a service show. People are coming from work or picking up kids from school, so they want to know what's happening on the roads, what's happening on the trains, and you like to give little tidbits of information. Sunday, it's more laid back. Things that you haven't had the energy to do in the week, you might not want to do them on a Sunday, but because it's a different energy, somehow you just find the energy to do it. So we call it the Sunday morning vibe. And what I do at about 12:25 is I highlight someone that's done something for the community. So this is not hardcore news. It could just be someone that's cutting grass for free. Last week, it was a guy that did haircuts for men, and he was working overtime, and he just found the later these guys stayed, the more they opened up. So they've got like this mental health for men thing. So they all go there, whether they want to get their hairs cut or not. But that was last week. Yesterday, I did a story about a little girl. Her name's Heidi Barker. She's 8 years old. And her great uncle got Alzheimer's in 2020. And as he stopped recognizing her, she got really upset. So she did a walk for Alzheimer's. She walked 603 miles. And she raised £16,500.
Wow.
And 8 years old. And I know it touched me, because I think the last time we were on, I started to talk about the fact that my dad had dementia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm a lot older than Heidi, but it's about what the disease does. And I really wanted to explain, it's not the person, it's the disease.
Yeah. Now did you know that we had on our show last week
Go on.
Sir John Hardy?
Yes.
Okay.
Isn't that
it's one of those diseases that you're going to have to, and I pray you never have to experience it. And I was quite estranged from my dad for quite a while, and I thank God that we got that together before his dementia kicked in. I had an amazing 12 years with my dad before he passed on, but it's the disease. as it progressed, he would say things and I'd be like, why are you saying that? And my stepmom would say, Angela, you need to understand, it's not him, it's the disease. So he would do things, you know, he would say, like, you know, what's the weather like? And then 10 minutes later, what's the weather like? The last conversation where I knew, you know, something is wrong was when he said, you know, we need to meet in Barbados, but you've got to bring your boots and your shovel. The snow outside my door. And I was like, okay. And there are times, like you've just laughed, Debbie, and there are times you do have to laugh. Because if you try to explain, you will just wear yourself out. And because it is the disease, they don't know what you're trying to explain.
Yeah, I think
anyway.
Sir John Hardy, who's now got this, you know who he is, obviously.
Yes.
He said to us, what it is, it's about not making new memories. So the old memories are there, but the disease stops you making new memories. The new memories are what you've just said, what's just happened. But at least with his research, if it's found early enough, they can stop it.
Absolutely,
And it was just fascinating talking to him. We should actually have him and you on the show together.
Do you know what? I'd love to have a chat with him. But what you just said there, Debbie, about, you know, you can't make new memories. So don't say, but no, this is a cup. You must see.
Exactly.
No.
Doesn't matter.
If this is a shoe, it's a shoe.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's the right size and it's the right color. And what I found with my dad that helped him was I used to make CDs for him of the songs he used to sing when I was little. And my dad's anthem was Frank Sinatra's My Way. Oh my goodness, he could belt that out. Nancy Wilson, no, you don't know, you don't know, you don't know, you don't know how glad I am. Oh my goodness, Bob Marley, Small Axe, so many songs. Tony Bennett singing For Once in My Life. And these CDs, they just used to keep him going. So I'd go to his house and he would literally be sit there looking in midair. But I put a CD on and he'd come alive. Off he'd go. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
In that
Wonderful.
documentary, which is called, I think it's called Alive Inside.
Okay.
And it's about somebody who does that. And the whole documentary, I must find it again because it's so moving. And it's about somebody who goes around and gets the families to create playlists to just try something. I think it's called Alive Inside. I'm not sure when it was made, but it's so fascinating. But I've also read that children can suffer from it, which is...
And this is what's so scary. Now, Julianne Moore was in a film. The name escapes me. She was a young mother. I don't know if you've seen this film. She got dementia and it was the onset. So she was talking about how she felt. And it's more than just, oh, where did I put my keys? Because there's a feeling that goes with it. And it's the feeling that you can't describe. So where did I put, not my keys, you know, the thing that opens the door. It's not about where did I leave my keys? It's more than that. And I will look up at that Alive Inside, but just to go back to something you said, Debbie, what really kept me going with my dad really near the early stages, it was his 92nd birthday. And my daughter walked into his house and he went, Angela, because he saw her in me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then I walked in and he went, hang on a minute, two of you.
Yeah.
And then I went to my car and I got this.
Oh, yes.
Can you see this teddy bear?
Yeah.
51.
Oh.
And I don't know why I kept this when my parents divorced, but it was the saving grace for my dad and I when the dementia kicked in. Because if I walked into his house like this, he'd go, hello, how are you? I know you. Who are you? My name's Angela. I've got a daughter called Angela. Okay. I'd go to the car and I'd get this. Ange, how are you? Oh my goodness. Did you sleep well last night? He could tell me the pajamas I was wearing when he put it in the bed, because apparently he kept it. And when I fell asleep, he put it under the blanket. So when I woke up, I saw this. He told me the story verbatim. And it's the memories, I think, that also bring joy. Yeah.
Cool.
And I
Yeah,
know not everyone has a joyful experience when it comes to dementia, because some people can get quite aggressive. There was a TikTok I was watching in the week. There's three sisters who went to see their dad in a home, and he wasn't an old man. I would say he wasn't 60. And if he was, he looked very good. And this woman said, oh, you know, tell me, what's your name? And he said, oh, my name is, have you got any children? And he sat there, he started to describe how wonderful his daughters were, how much he loved his daughters, how much they were a blessing. And then the screen went to black, and the caption at the end was, that was one of the daughters. He didn't recognize her.
But that's the thing. That's what John was telling us about. And also this fantastic research that he's doing. And he actually told us the different kinds of dementia that there are, and how they affect people. And I think it was is where the plaque gets into the brain. And that's
the brain. From when he was very young. He was complete, because his grandpa, that's right, and he said he used to mix all the medicines, you know, which wouldn't be allowed now, of course.
Sorry, I just wanted a bit of extra light there. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he became completely obsessed with the brain and the workings of the brain, and he went into great detail. I'd love to get you two together.
I'd love to talk to him. I'd love to.
I think we should do that.
I'm sure, actually, Angie, I'm sure he'd like to do your show on Smooth, because he needs to, he was saying that he likes doing all these public, you know, chats about dementia, because it can really help people.
Well, what we could do is I could make him part of my good news story, because this is what I do. I highlight someone every week. And it's just about, you know, it's Sunday, you might just be having a tea or a coffee, you might just be doing nothing. You don't necessarily want to hear about Brexit and politics. And there's just this one subject is somebody that's done something. So maybe I could feature him. I'd love to do that.
Yeah. Well, we'll connect you with him. We'll connect you. But you should, if you watch last week's show, I think it was last Friday, was it? I can't remember. Last Friday's show, you'll see him talking to us.
Can I just say, before we wrap up, the bird has flown the nest for the Vic. Hello.
Yes.
I know.
We are very proud of her.
How is that? How amazing is that?
Yeah, really amazing. Really amazing. But she will come back and see us soon, I'm sure.
I hope
yes.
So. Good.
But at the moment, we have two little fledgling Wonderbirds, as you've seen.
And we listen, the fact that I'm even allowed in your nest, that is enough for me. Thank you so much.
Anytime, darling. We always
love you, Ange.
Love you too.
See you soon.
Take care.
Oh, it's always great to talk to Angie.
She's so lovely.
She really is. You know, whenever I put Smooth on, I always hear her. For some reason, it's always the time that she's on, and I think she's so brilliant and so inspiring, and I love all the music she plays.
I thought it was fantastic that she said that music unlocks people with Alzheimer's.
Yes,
and it does that in comas as well. So I suppose it's because it's something that has no language, so it gets where it can't go.
Yeah,
so
and it's something that you feel very deeply inside. Sorry, that's Honey barking. Honey, stop it. Thank you.
He's just very jealous that Beanie has been on the show.
That's right.
Honey. Some people, Caddy, can play. They've got dementia and they're not connected at all, but yet they'll sit down on a grand piano and play something.
Yes, I've always found that amazing. It's obviously a particular part of the brain that hasn't been affected.
Yeah.
And also dogs as well, and pets are very good for people with Alzheimer's because they're able to show love and connect. And that, again, I suppose, is a different part of the brain. And it's
but one of my dogs, I think, at the end, he didn't know where he was half the time. It was very funny. He used to walk into a room and go, "Why am I here?" He used to go, "Hi," and he'd go, "Who are you?" And then suddenly he'd come back. So, you know, dementia in animals as well. It's the same Clark thing, I would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely. I know. Well, it's a really, it's a subject that I think we're all connected to somebody who's either had it or, a relation or a friend of a friend. And I think it's a really serious topic, and one that hopefully with people like Sir John Hardy, we've made some really good advancements with it.
Yeah, and we're getting very serious on this show. So we will see you all soon. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Bye, Annie.
Bye. Bye.